Hey, Dan, am I on now? Oh yeah, I see my face on the computer. Hey, folks out there, how you doing? My name is Jim, but I'm not going to tell you my last name. All right? And my sister just bought me this computer thing. I never had, like computers or mobile cell phone, whatever you call those things. I'm not into the new technology stuff. I play a bass guitar in a heavy metal band, and that's enough for me. But, like, ever since I got this computer, right, Dan? Ever since I got this bloody computer, I've been hooked on watching YouTube videos. Yeah, you bet. It's cool stuff, some of those YouTube videos. I'm serious. Really cool. Like, all this talk about 7-Eleven being an inside job. You bet. It was a inside job. I'm not kidding you, man. I used to work at 7-Eleven and I know it was an inside job. We hardly ever got any time to go outside. You can ask my local boss here, Steve, at the nearest 7-Eleven near my house here. Did Jim show up on time? Not always. Did Jim sometimes not show up at all? Yeah, that's right. How am I supposed to balance between, like, playing in a band, late night gigs, and then show up at work early in the morning? It's not possible. But I'm telling you, I know for a fact that 7-Eleven was an inside job. Sometimes strange things would happen in 7-Eleven. Like, people would show up and pretend that they had no money and say, "Excuse me, my car broke down on the road. Could you spare some money?" And I would say, "Man, why me? I'm not rich. You think I'd be working this 7-Eleven stuff if I had any fucking money? No. No." So, like, I would say, "Okay, you know what? Get yourself a donut, coffee. Make sure you give me the cup afterwards. I gotta throw it in, like, make it look like somebody spilt the coffee." You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, it's 7-Eleven was definitely an inside job. I've even made, you see my button here? If you want one button like this, 7-Eleven was an inside job. Hey, thanks, Dan, for making this for me. I really appreciate it. You can order one. The world is full of weird things going on, like, what they call them, constipations. I mean, conspiracy theories. I thought constipations. Okay. Conspiracy theories, yeah. The world's full of them. And, all this electronic stuff nowadays. When I was a kid, we didn't have electronic stuff all over the place. Yeah, we had, like, old-fashioned rotary phones and things. Now you got all them electronic things like cell phones and these computer things. And it's no wonder there's conspiracies, because with all this technology, you don't know who's doing what. Like, for example, I found this on my porch the other day, this balloon here. It looks totally innocent, right? Just an alien balloon? But it ain't no alien balloon, in my opinion. Look at that. You see, wait a second. Can you see that? Right there, there's a light inside. Hold on a second. Hey, Dan, how does this damn camera thing work? Oh, okay, there we go. See right there? Oh, no, you can't see it on the camera. Hey, Dan, I can't get the light inside this balloon to show up on the camera. Maybe if I try to pinch it a bit like this, you can... Hold on a second. How does this thing work? Oh, fuck. There you go. You see that light? Yeah, there you go. There we go. That's electronic. So, I mean, like, I heard from a friend of mine that they have these like really tiny machines you can't see with except with a microscope. Well, that's fucking cool, man. But imagine if somebody has these like really tiny machines, you know, like really small machines. Imagine what people can do with that, like Hitler and stuff. If he had those tiny little machines, I mean, he could do a lot of terrible things because he could be watching you, like when you're like, you know, doing stuff. He could be watching you, and then he can send the goon squad and get you. So, like, I really don't like all this technology, to be honest to you. Yeah, okay, Dan, don't complain about me. It's just my life. I like the old-fashioned stuff, you know, like my friend here, George. Well, let me show you my friend George. George is my pet monkey. I'm 52. I've had George since I was a little boy. Used to call him Curious George, because there was a book about him. And there's no, you know, lights and buttons and bells and stuff. There's no electronics in George here. See what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of George. I even made sure his eyes don't have no electronics. But, I mean, how could he have had electronics? In those days, we didn't have electronics and all kinds of stuff. Right, George? So, yeah, so, like, all this technology, man, it's kind of, like, scary, you know. But I'm telling you, it's true. 7-Eleven was an inside job. A lot of weird things did happen there. I remember one time this woman came in and she said, "You're hot." And I said, "No, I'm feeling fine. I mean, it's actually kind of cool in here." "No," she said, "I'm hot like," she said, "You're hot like you're, you know, like sexy stuff." And I said, "Yeah, okay, man. I'm sexy, right?" Am I supposed to say, can I say this word sexy on YouTube, Dan? Okay, so Dan says I shouldn't be talking about sexy on YouTube. Okay, so I can't tell you about that story, but that was weird shit, man. Because, like, we ended up having a 5-year-long relationship. I even almost married the... I was going to say that word, you know, the word starts there with B. Anyway, it was a disaster, my relationship with... What was her name now? I keep forgetting. It's really hard to remember names when you've been with, like, about 3,000 women in your life so far and counting. And that 3,000 is just a guesstimation because I'm not sure how many women I've been with. So each morning when I wake up in another woman's bed, I'm not sure if it was the first time or the second time. My memory is not very good. In fact, that's why I play bass guitar, because it's easy, you know. All I have to do is do, re, mi, rather than fa, sol, la, ti, da. I just do the do, re, mi stuff, and the band doesn't complain. Of course, it's easy when you're playing heavy metal. That's why I like heavy metal, because it's easy to play. Nobody can hear my bass playing off because of all the noise. So like Dan here helped me out to set up this computer thing so I can make videos. Finally, I'm going to join YouTube. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you all about my experiences at 7-Eleven. So don't forget, 7-Eleven. Yeah, man. That was a side job. Okay? See you next time. Signing off. Jim here.